NFC West has to be the best division of football.
I think we would talk about this every time, Denny. Oh, yeah.
You look, they're 4-0. They didn't have any close games.
4-0.
They didn't have any close games.
Mm-mm.
And they beat some good teams. So you were quoted last week as saying the Indianapolis Colts have the third best D in the league. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I listened to the podcast this morning and you said the third best D in the league. And Russell Wilson made them look like mediocre in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
And in the second half, it was kind of weird. I don't know. They kind of got a bit conservative with play calling, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't score in the third quarter, which was weird. But there's so many good things to say about the offense. There's a lot of good things to say about the defense, which we were hesitant about maybe going into week one.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start with outside of the Seahawks and outside of the NFC West and just kind of what we saw this week in the NFL. So a few things. Last week, we spent maybe 10 minutes talking about Aaron Rodgers and that he had no interest in being in Green Bay.
Yes.
And that was proven correct.
Absolutely zero interest. I can't believe that score, 38-3.
They got absolutely smashed by a new quarterback to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston is no joke. Let's say that. He's an athlete and he has proven that he can be a good starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
At Tampa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tampa? Like he had a 5,000 yard season.
He did. He also had 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions one year. But then he got his eyes fixed. So, but his stat line was kind of weird. 20 attempts, 148 yards, 5 touchdowns.
It's a lot of touchdowns.
It's a lot of touchdowns, eh? Yeah, good to see.
Even more important though, Aaron Rodgers had a rough debut. It's just weird, man. I don't know why at the Packers head office, why didn't they make a change? Why not get rid of him? It's very obvious that he has no interest in being there. And you're trading up in the draft to get a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is he still there? Why not get rid of him? Why not get something for him? They're not going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Mm-mm.
And I think he has 1 year left on his contract. I think this is his last year.
I believe so, yeah. So
why not unload him?
First, and get someone back at least, right?
Get something. Get a D end, get like a linebacker, get something.
But you think you're not even counting the Packers as in at all this year?
Aaron Rodgers has no interest in playing football for the Green Bay Packers this year. And he's currently playing football for the Green Bay Packers this year, which means the Green Bay Packers are not going to be good at football this year.
Do you think he's still a Green Bay Packer in week 18?
I think, were we talking about this morning, right?
A little bit, yeah.
I said, would they trade him halfway through the season? And it's a strange move, right? Like coming into the year, it makes sense to start a season with a new quarterback and a new, like getting rid of your old quarterback at the beginning of the year. Halfway through is strange.
Very tough, yeah.
And I think it only happens if they are not going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think if like week 12 comes around and they're 3-9 or something, 3-8, whatever, not going to make the playoffs, then maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're 500 going into the last 4 games of the year, I don't think so. I don't know. What's their draft pick's name? Trey Lance? Trey something?
No, that was for a different team. Trey Lance was playing for San Francisco. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's Garoppolo's backup.
Yeah, it's Garoppolo's backup.
Who's the guy at Green Bay?
Love. Wasn't it Love? Jordan Love.
Jordan Love?
Yeah.
Where was he?
That's a great question. I haven't really heard anything about him.
So many questions that you're not going to know the answer to. Why am I asking all these questions?
He's 22 years old. Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know, man. Like, that was a rough debut. Losing 38-3 to the Cardinals, who we think at the Seahawks Social are going to be the third place team in our division.
But like, what does that mean?
But the third place team in our division could also be the third place team in the NFC.
I know. Yeah, you are correct.
The division's so good. It's ridiculously stacked.
Well, like what? The only team that we really have to worry about are the Bucks and the Saints, I guess, in the entire NFC, right? If you're counting the Packers out.
Outside of our division?
Outside of our division. That's it. Eagles, Washington, Giants, Cowboys, no way. Saints and Bucks.
I'm going to say that the Bears are better than you think they are.
You think they had a bad week?
I think they played one of the best teams in the NFL. Right, so they played the Rams last night.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they lose? They lost 34-14, I think.
Yeah.
But they had opportunities to put points on the board when they didn't. Did you watch that game?
I did.
They went for it on 4th and 4 3 times.
I know, they're being so aggressive. That was kind of weird.
It was
a few teams
early
were doing
in the
that.
game too.
Yeah. Yeah, 34-14. But their defense did not look good. Do you think the LA Rams offense is that good? Do you think Matt Stafford is the real deal?
I think we talked about this morning.
Yeah.
I think Matt Stafford is slightly better than Jared Goff, but he's not a top 5 quarterback in the league. So I don't know why all the NFL people are fucking in love with that trade, and they're thinking the Rams made this lottery move. I don't get it, because Matt Stafford is a good quarterback. I think he is a top 12 guy in the league, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you that.
He's not top 5, man.
No, not at all.
You can name 7 guys right now that you like better, but a couple of them lost this week.
A couple of them did lose.
Including your fucking boy, Carl.
I know.
Your boy. You know who I'm talking about?
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
The Bills and the Steelers, 23-16.
Are the
What
Steelers?
the hell happened?
Are the Steelers better than we think they are? Because my understanding of Big Ben going into the season is washed up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure out something new for the Steelers.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch that game. I saw bits and pieces of it, but I didn't watch it closely enough to make an evaluation on Big Ben. Is he still a legit starting quarterback? Because it seemed like last year he wasn't that good. It seemed like he was the missing piece of that team. Like they had a ridiculous receiving core.
Forever. Yeah,
they have a great defense, but he wasn't that good. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I honestly, I think he's pretty average. I think the team kind of is built around him and around his strengths, and they exploit that very well. But I don't know. I think that was a weird game yesterday, especially for the Buffalo Bills. I mean,
did you watch it?
Yeah. The Steelers have a good rookie running back. Najee Harris is good. They got good wide receivers. But, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger's numbers weren't that great. I think it came down to just the defense, man. The Steelers have a good defense. And Josh Allen did not perform. Stephon Diggs did do nothing.
Is Tomlin a Hall of Famer?
I think so.
What I love about Mike Tomlin, and everyone that listens to this podcast understands that I follow the Seahawks religiously, and I don't give a fuck about the other 31 teams in the league. Don't care. What I know about the Steelers is that they have a good history, and that whenever the camera flashes to Mike Tomlin, he looks badass as fuck.
So serious. So,
right?
Yeah,
often he's wearing sunglasses on the sideline. He has like a really mean stare.
You don't see him smiling often.
Never.
No.
They're up 39-0, and he's pissed about something.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of him for that. But I know that they win a lot. I know that they won Super Bowls. And so I just assume that Mike Tomlin's good.
I just think his record's good. They've just been consistently good forever. Forever.
Their defense is always good.
Yeah. But I think they ride and die on Ben Roethlisberger. And I think keeping him healthy for 18 weeks is going to be tough.
I just don't think he is the quality that needs to be there to win a Super Bowl.
I agree.
But prove me wrong, Ben, because you're 1-0 and you beat who is supposed to win the Super Bowl, the Buffalo Bills this year. I like that. I like Ben. I'm into it. A few other points from around the league, Carl. Cam Newton. Heard what's happening with him?
He still has no team, but no, I haven't heard.
That's correct. But there's rumors that he may go to Washington to reconvene with his old coach.
Because Fitzpatrick got hurt. Interesting.
On the IR for the unforeseen future.
Do you think he's washed up, or do you think he can still make an impact on a team?
I never thought he was capable of winning a Super Bowl. My good friend Aaron Cook was a very big Carolina Panthers fan. And from the beginning, I told him that I don't think he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's very fun to watch. This is what I think about Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. They demand respect, even if they're not that good. So they run systems and they have guys buy in around them. And he was never that guy. He was always like, look at me, look at me.
That's a great point.
And I don't like that. I don't think it's a winning formula.
Right.
Like even a guy like Joe Flacco is just, he's a system guy. He fit into that Baltimore system so well. And they won Super Bowls around him because their team was so good.
He just did his job.
But he did his job.
Yeah.
He was always the guy that was like, man, the O-line fucking rocked out today. I had 97 seconds to throw the ball every single time. And when you have 97 seconds to throw the ball, a lot of people can do it.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Fit in anyone. Fit in Matt Stafford. Fit in Derek Carr.
Oh, yeah.
Fit in anyone.
MVP, man. 90 seconds? Jesus. Do you he's also similar to Lamar Jackson, another player
100%.
who is not going to ever win a Super Bowl, probably.
He has no clue how to avoid contact.
Yes. Yep.
You see Russell Wilson scrambling this week?
With the cleats up?
Dude, he is sliding 4 yards before he's getting touched. Which, as a Seahawks fan, I'm all for.
Oh, he had a great run on 3rd and 10 there. Oh.
But it's the same thing, man. Do I think Cam Newton's washed up? No, I think he has a couple of good years left in him in terms of like athleticism. But is he going to be a winning quarterback in the NFL? I don't think so because of the style. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I just don't think it's like same thing as the Baltimore guy we talk about all the time.
Lamar
Is he going to win
Jackson,
it? Is he going to win a Super Bowl in his career? Personally, I don't think so. Unless something changes, unless he becomes more like a Russell Wilson. Like at the beginning of Russ's career, he scrambled. He ran a lot. Right?
A lot, yeah.
He was the leading rusher on the Seahawks for one season. Remember that?
That's wild.
It was like 5 or 6 years ago, but it was a while ago. But unfortunately, to be a successful football team in the NFL, that can't be the formula. And it never has been. Michael Vick never won Super Bowls.
Never.
Although he was a ridiculous athlete and so fun to watch. Like who other guys along that line? Russ early in his career. Cam Newton for a bunch of years. Lamar Jackson still. Like he's so fun to watch and he's like a freak athlete and he's just faster than everyone else, but he just takes too many hits, man.
Yeah.
When you're getting hit by 280-pound linebackers every third down, it's not as sustainable.
No. And if you're put in a position...
That's PI. That's got to be PI.
That's PI. Oh, yeah. If you're put in a position with like a minute 30 left and you're forced to do something with the ball, you're not going to be able to do anything with your legs. You have to be able to throw and get your receivers involved. You're not going to run. Defense is going to pick that up and going to shut you right down.
I mean, a lot of great points are being made on the Seahawks Social podcast this week.
Ooh, let's go.
Okay. So I got a list of the surprises of the week. Not necessarily surprise, but more just teams to note that are better or worse than we thought they were. I'd say the Cardinals win was impressive. So I'd like to put them on the list. I'd say the Saints win was impressive.
I was very impressed. Yeah, we were not expecting that.
Right? Jameis Winston, is he better than we think? Is he a top 10 QB in the NFL?
He has the weapons to do it. That's the big thing with the Saints. And their defense, too, is fucking up there.
Even the last couple of years, the Saints around Drew Brees have been getting way better than they were in the past, right?
Yes.
For a lot of years in New Orleans, Drew Brees was the guy that made shit happen, and he just figured shit out. He's like a Aaron Rodgers in his prime. He's a Tom Brady in his prime. Like he just makes shit happen. And I agree. Their defense and their weapons around Winston on offense are they're going to be very interesting to watch. That's why I want to go to that stupid Monday night game, October 25th in Seattle against the Saints. I think that's going to be a really, really good one and a big one for the NFC position.
Oh, yeah.
It could be, right? Like that's, I don't know what it is, week 9 or something like that.
So you like the Saints this year?
They're on my team. They're on my list of surprises / like impressive for the week. There's 2 on the list of surprises as like worse than I thought they were, which is the Packers and the Titans.
Titans. What the hell happened to the Titans?
They got smashed.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, right?
38-13.
It's a league like any other, like unlike any other, right? One year to the next are completely different. It's so crazy. And which I think makes it so much fun to watch. The Titans last year, over the last 2 years, maybe. The back half of 2019, do you remember when they went on that crazy playoff run?
Yes, yeah.
And Henry was just like an unstoppable beast. Tannehill was playing lights out. So you assume that after a year and a half of like really good football and some pickups along the way, they're going to be good. And they came out very, very poorly.
Very poorly. Yeah, they grabbed Julio Jones this year, right? They have 2 like tier 1 receivers. They got Derrick Henry and just 13 points. I don't know. The Titans also struggle a little bit because I feel like they force the run game so much. And sometimes when they fall behind, they get in trouble. And Derrick Henry is not a good option, a receiving running back option. He doesn't catch the ball.
Interesting. Okay. I don't watch them enough to know that stuff.
So essentially, Derrick Henry gets taken out of the game when they're down. And I think that's been a problem in the Titans for a little bit now.
Back to what we were talking about last week. Like No, this is right on that point, Carl. Last week we were talking about how important the quarterback position is in the NFL. And Ryan Tannehill is not a top 5 quarterback in the league. So when you're down early against the Cardinals, what is your option? You don't have a guy that can just make shit happen.
No.
He fits into the system because they're such a good run team, right?
Right.
But if you're down 13-0 at the beginning of the game, you're not running for 3 yards anymore. Right?
No, it's down 30-0, you're saying. And if they're forced to throw, A.J. Brown had 4 receptions. Julio Jones had 3 receptions.
Yeah, that's not good enough. But it's not good enough because the guy in the premier position is not good enough, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why, remember, I said it here first. In the offseason, when Aaron Rodgers was doing all this fucked up shit in Green Bay, I said, he needs to go to Tennessee. Go to Tennessee. They need a guy that can throw the football. And if they do, they're a Super Bowl contender.
That would be pretty deadly. That would be pretty crazy. Yeah.
If you're Aaron Rodgers, why the fuck did you stay there? Just tell people that you want to leave. Say, here's the 3 teams I want to go to. Tennessee. Who else?
Who else is up there with
Maybe
a struggling quarterback?
The Rams could have been. If you went to the Rams, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
That is another.
But Matt Stafford is not good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that good.
No. And the Rams have great offense and they have the best defense. Yeah, that would be a great location.
Also, San Fran.
Yeah.
San Fran is struggling hard at the quarterback position.
San Fran surprised me. Yeah.
But Jimmy G is not a winning quarterback.
No, he's not.
Who in the AFC? Baltimore's not going to change their guy. They love that. They love Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. They're going to ride him till it's over. Yeah.
He's just too young and he's like Mike Vick. And they're like, let's see what the potential of him is.
Yeah.
That was a good throw.
Patriots? They don't have the weapons.
Well, they did ditch Cam.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have the good enough supporting cast. You remember I said that on the podcast, though. I was like, the best fit for Aaron Rodgers is Tennessee. Go to Tennessee.
That sounds really good. It makes sense.
What's your salary right now, Mr. Aaron Rodgers? $35 million?
And cut it.
Take 25. Go try to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But if they give up, what did they give up against the Cardinals? 38?
Yeah.
Their D, maybe
8 to 13.
Maybe their D isn't as good as we thought they were.
I just think it's too hard for them when they fall behind.
Yeah.
I think they're an amazing team when they're running the ball and they're up ahead. Amazing team when winter comes and no one wants to tackle Derrick Henry. But from behind, they're going to struggle all year.
How would you compare Derrick Henry and Christopher Carson?
I think as a pure running back, I think Derrick Henry is in a division above Chris Carson, but Chris Carson gives you the option for receiving and catches. You can actually throw to him.
Is there anyone that is better out of the backfield than him?
I would have to say Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara are up there.
Kamara's almost better out of the backfield than he is running the ball, though, right?
I think both him and Christian McCaffrey can do both so well. So they're always a threat, man. But Chris Carson is a dual threat like that. I think he's up there because his hands are good, man. He has good hands.
Chris Carson is stronger than those two guys, though, isn't he?
He is stronger, but he plays different than those guys. Both those guys are more agile, and Carson plays through people.
But his hands are still so good.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
He doesn't drop the ball out of the backfield.
Nope. Just those fumbles every once in a while. But
that's fucked, man. Remember, we have this group chat, me, Carl, Lucas, and Carson put the ball on the ground this week. I said, oh shit, I hope it's not 2019 all over again. Because I think it was 2019 or 2018.
It was 2019.
Where I had like 6 fumbles early in the year.
Yeah.
Seemed like every week. It's crazy. The NFL is a ridiculous sport, and I'm sure there's some sort of like timing and luck involved in these types of situations where things go badly. But as a guy like Chris Carson, you're a veteran in the league now. How long have you been in the league? 6 years, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure that out, man.
Especially
when you're getting hit.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to keep it secure.
You can't be a running back to fumbles. It just doesn't work.
No. There's too many running backs, right?
Yes. Yeah.
There's too many athletic guys that are somewhat built like you that can run hard. Here's a question. What percentage of a running back having a good year is based on the O-line versus your ability? 70-30? 50-50?
Oh,
what do you think? Because my firm belief in the NFL is the guys that deserve a lot of credit but get zero credit is the O-line.
O-line, yeah.
Those guys are straight animals.
I'd say 70-30. I think they're just so important, man. That's where everything happens.
I think there's a lot of skill in receiving the ball and in that next 0.2 seconds, understanding what is happening right in front of you. My right guard is going this way and the guy's coming off of him to the left. I need to cut right. Like that split second reaction is so important.
Oh, yeah.
And I give the running backs a lot of credit for that stuff. But at the same time, if you have holes every play, it's pretty easy.
Look at what happened at Le'Veon Bell. He
100%.
was amazing in the Steelers. Goes to the Jets, can't do anything, isn't even in the league anymore.
100%. And there's dozens of stories like that, right?
Dozens, yeah.
It's man, we said last week, the NFL is a ridiculously complex sport. It's crazy. There's so many moving parts on every single play. And if one thing doesn't work, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, but like even like an O-line is so like it just gives more time for the QB. You run the ball better. It's so important. Yeah, you can't replace it. There's a reason that good teams go and search and find these guys and pay these guys.
There's a reason that a guy like Dwayne Brown has been in the NFL for a long time. And at the beginning of a year has the leverage to demand what he wants, right?
Yeah.
Because he provides a level of security for your most important player in the league, your quarterback, Russell Wilson. He provides a level of security for that guy, right?
Yes.
every game, you know that no one is going to hit you from the backside because Dwayne Brown is your left guard, right?
That's so nice.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it for 12 years.
He's 36, man. Good for him.
Maybe longer than 12 years. 13 or 14 years. Probably got in the NFL when he was 22, 23. That's wild. Okay, let's talk about the Hawks. I mean, we're 1-0. We're obviously excited. There's so many things that we could talk about in that week. And Carl's looking at his watch, so obviously we got time constraints here tonight. So we can't talk about them all. But what I liked early on in the game is that there was so much more play action.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, last year, how many times did we talk about we need to do more play action? We need to get Russell Wilson out of the pocket. We understand the O-line is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was not good. So how do you create time for your best player on the team? Is you get him outside the guys that are not good at
exactly.
blocking
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So go off of Chris Carson, handoffs, bootlegs, get him rolling out of the pocket, and they did way more of that this week.
Oh yeah,
and it's so fun to watch, and so exciting when like the TV doesn't show you the entire game, which kind of sucks. That's why it's so much fun to be at the games and like be able to see what is developing behind the line of scrimmage, because that's all you get to see on the TV. But as Russell Wilson is fake handoff bootleg, he's got so much time.
So much
and
time.
The second play of the game was a prime example where it was like, I think they ran, I don't know, whatever they ran on the first play, but second play was like fake handoff and he bootlegged the other way. And he had like 9 seconds, it seemed like, to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't result in anything, he can run for like 4 or 5 yards and it's an easy, quick gain.
Yep.
But the fact that there's so much time for him to make a read and make a throw, a guy like Russell Wilson is most likely going to make a good decision in that time versus 3-step drop and getting smashed in the forehead.
Oh yeah. You can't even compete. Your offense actually gets a chance to develop, right?
At that time, totally. And when he's outside the pocket, he's getting the option to go through reads versus 3-step drop. My first read is covered. I'm getting hit in the chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like, man, it seemed like in the second half they maybe were playing towards the lead a little bit, which it is what it is. They won the game. That's all that really matters. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But the first half was really fun to watch.
It was really fun, man. The offense looks really, really good and clean. The biggest thing that I noticed this year is Russell Wilson is under center a lot. And their offense is a lot less predictable. So they'll have it set up and they'll run the same play, but they'll have 3 good options out of that play.
Yeah.
I feel like last year they would line up in specific ways and teams figured out what plays they were running.
Mm-hmm.
I think like that LA game, right, in divisional round, when the guy picked it off, they knew exactly what play was because Moore lined up exactly where they saw him in film.
Yeah.
So I think it was a lot less predictable, a lot smoother. They did a lot more no huddle, right? Just went right back to it.
Yeah.
And they can run these plays 2-3 times back to back and have 4 or 5 different options.
Totally.
And that's fucking sweet to see, man.
We know, like, it was really exciting for me to see Gerald Everett step into a big role. And I think you had some hesitations about him because he was like the backup in LA.
He just didn't do anything before, but I knew he's a freak athlete. That's what I've been hearing.
And he looked phenomenal.
They had him, they had him in the wide receiver set on the outside too. This guy can play, man. Yeah, I'm pumped.
Dude, he's fun to watch. It seemed like he was pumped to be out there in an exciting offense. It seemed like he was pumped to be involved. I don't know how many catches he had. How many catches did he have?
I think 2.
That's it?
That's it.
Man, 2 for 20 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's crazy watching the games. And I guess both of those catches maybe were like at important parts of the game or were, I don't know, third down or like something like that, where they're impactful
Yes.
and you remember them.
You do.
But as a fan watching, it seemed like he had a much bigger part in the game than having 2 receptions.
I know. It just happens at the right time, right? And it changes the entire swing of the game, so it feels like he's been involved way more.
And I think we're talking about this before we started the podcast, but like they didn't have a lot of offensive plays.
No.
But they were so efficient with what they did, right? So they had 27 rushes for 140 yards, and Russell Wilson was 18 for 23
Yeah.
with 254 yards.
The entire team had 18 receptions. That's not a lot.
That's not a lot of plays. But both teams the game clock runs down quickly when there's no incompletions, right?
Yeah, the running.
Like Carson Wentz started the game, I don't know what it was, like 16 for 18 or something, right? So when there's no incompletions, the clock is running all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Wilson, right? He was, in the first half, I think he had 3 touchdowns and 2 incompletions.
Yeah.
So it's a quick game. And I guess there's less plays when the clock just keeps going. So let's look at Indianapolis had 68 snaps. They had 30 rushes and 38 pass attempts.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks had 27 rushes and 23 pass attempts. So I'd say that's probably on the lower end of what you're going to see this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the Seahawks were up fairly big early in the game. So the second half was a little more conservative than I think we're going to see for the rest of the season. But it is really fun and exciting to see the offense clicking early in the game, scoring a lot of points in the first half, and listening to press conferences after the game with Pete and Russ and Lockett and DK and Carson. It's really cool to see how much they respect Waldron already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all of them were talking about how just like different and dynamic the play calling was. And they're just running a lot of different things that have more options, which is so exciting for how we progress through the season because there's a lot of good teams on our schedule.
Yes, I know. There's a lot of good teams.
There's a lot.
Yeah. A tough schedule this year.
Which is kind of the opposite of last year. Last year we played a lot of mediocre, shitty teams. Especially early in the year.
It's just the fucking NFC West is so difficult too,
NFC
right?
West is so tough. Like, we automatically have 6 really difficult games every single season.
Yeah.
And then we're playing Tennessee next week, which I assume is coming off a shitty loss, and they're going to be pissed. And
they underperform for sure. They can do
100%.
It. Yeah. That's
but
gonna be a
in
good
Seattle,
game.
I don't know. I'm still picking a W there. I look at our schedule, man, and I'm so excited.
The Titans, Vikings, 49ers, Rams.
It's going to be really, really, really interesting to see that week. What is it? Week 4 and 5, where we're playing the Niners and Rams back to back, just to see like how this division measures up against each other.
Yep. And then I think even against the Steelers and Saints.
Dude, I think the Saints are way better than I thought they were. Yeah. I thought the Saints were going to be like a 500 team this year.
Just a write-off with no Drew Brees.
But after smashing the Packers, I don't know. Maybe they're a top 5 team in the league. I don't know.
So that's another tough game. We got the Packers this year too.
We're smashed Packers 56-3. At that point, so that's week 10. At that point, Aaron Rodgers may be gone.
Yeah, who knows?
He may be hung over for that game. Like, just doesn't care anymore. Man, I don't know if it's me just caring more, but it seems like every year gets more and more interesting. Like, I'm looking weeks and weeks and weeks ahead and being like, oh, that's a fun matchup. I never did that before. But I think the Titans is going to be a fun one. The Vikings, what did they do week 1? They're on 1. They lost against who? Kirk Cousins is another guy that in the right system
I know.
Like a Matt Stafford, like a Jared Goff, like a Ryan Tannehill. Like they're all the same human. Is it just me? Or are they all the same white guy?
You can interchange them and the records of those teams would not change.
Exactly.
They lost 27-24.
Derek Carr, put him in that category.
Yeah. They lost to the Bengals.
Same shit, man. They lost to the Bengals?
They lost to the Bengals in overtime.
Oh, baby. So that was, what's his name?
Joe Burrows, yeah.
Burrows.
I think he had a pretty good game. He had 261 yards, 2 touchdowns.
They won by 3?
They won by 3.
Fuck. I was watching that overtime and it was tragic offensively.
So bad, yeah.
Watched the first 10 minutes and no one did anything, but good for Burrows. So
Burrows.
Okay, let's quickly go through their season.
Yeah.
So they're 1-0. They play the Titans next week. I'm thinking that's a win at home. Then they're in Minnesota. Then they're at the Niners. Then they're at home on a Thursday night. Short week against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty tough stretch, actually. So they're at the Niners, home against the Rams, at the Steelers, home against the Saints.
So the next 4 games, the Vikings are the easiest game. And 3 of those are very tough.
That's 4 hard games in a row, I think.
You think Vikings are going to be good?
No. I think they should be 3-0.
Yeah.
And then they have 4 really tough games in a row.
It's very tough. Yeah. So you think they're going to beat the Titans next week?
I mean, we're going to get to score predictions. And based on week 1, Carl's basically going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think at halftime, I thought I fucked up. But then the third quarter really slowed down.
Carl and I were messaging at halftime, and I picked the Seahawks were going to score 38 points. Yeah. And at halftime, they had 21.
They were on pace for you, yeah.
And I said, I told you they were going to score a lot of points.
1 more touchdown.
Yeah. And they didn't score in the third quarter. Man, the NFL is so good. It is by far the best time of year, man. In the fall, it's so good. There's so many things we could talk about. One that everyone should point out is that what's his name? Something Ramsey. What's Ramsey's first name?
Jalen.
Jalen Ramsey is a fucking baller, man. He is a Jamal Adams. When you watch him, he's involved in every single defensive play.
It's so weird how they're so good at that, eh? They know.
He's more athletic than the other kids. His intuition, he just understands, and the game moves slower for people like that, I think.
Yeah.
I think they just see things differently. He's crazy to watch, man.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch that game super closely last night, but it seemed like he was involved in most defensive plays.
Yeah. And then throw in Aaron Donald and good luck, man.
Yeah.
On the same team, dude.
Remember when Ramsey was available and the Seahawks were talking to him? It's like, man, I hope he comes to the Seahawks. He seems like he'd be a pretty good.
Because he was on the Jags, right? Or something crazy.
I know. And then it's literally the worst when a team in your division gets one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
No.
But Aaron Donald, do you think they're that good? So my interpretation of the Rams last night was they're a good football team, but they're not great yet. And I thought the Bears were mediocre, and they didn't put them away till late in the game.
Yeah.
And the Bears moved the ball pretty good on them and fucked up a couple times on 4th and 4. I don't know why they were going for it early in the game.
Also, the Bears just had a couple possessions where they just completely lost the wide receiver. I don't know. It's tough to say. I can't really judge him on that game.
I'm not as excited about the Rams as I thought going into the year. But who do they play next week?
But Chicago's defense should still be one of the better ones in the league. Because guys like Khalil Mack and stuff. But
so they're this would be a fun. I don't know what's happening outside right now, but There is a fucking full construction zone happening outside.
Did you get someone to clean your deck or what? You just forgot?
It sounds like a compressor's having like a heart attack out there. So the Rams have the Colts next week, which they should win.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in watching that game though, just to compare to how we played the Rams this week. And they play at 10 next week, which is awesome because we play at 1. And then they play the Bucks.
It's a hard game.
Which will be super fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because should we close that door? It sounded like to me, it looked like the Dallas Cowboys are better than we thought.
Yeah.
But also the Bucks were also better than we thought. The Bucks are good.
Bucks are very good. Lots of weapons. The defense is top tier.
Imagine if Aaron Rodgers went there. They'd win like 9 Super Bowls in a row.
Just a straight up trade 1-for-1.
Yeah, they just got rid of their shitty quarterback and put a good quarterback in there.
They'd win the Super Bowl even harder, dude.
I'd fucking make that trade.
And then the Cardinals and then the Seahawks, they play us.
So they have a stretch there too. They have 3.
Because Cardinals I'm also very interested in, right? Are they actually as good as they played or was that kind of a fluke game?
And who are they? What's their schedule look like?
Is Kyler Murray the real dealer? Is it going to be a breakout season for him?
This is so fun for me, man. I love this shit.
Just predictions. And
they play the Vikings next week, which they should win. Then the Jags, which they'll win.
Layups.
And then at the Rams, which will be so fun to watch on October 3rd.
Man.
It's so cool. Every week, man, has such good games. That was huge. 2nd and 20. Yeah. That was the big one.
That's the thing that we would have never seen before on a 2nd and 20. And I think
100%. They fucking run the football on 2nd and 20.
And the defense was not expecting that from the Seahawks.
No.
And that's what happens.
100%. I love it.
Also, for Gerald Everett, I saw that the Seahawks were running 2 tight ends a couple times. Disley and Everett.
So Disley is good.
He is good.
He had that shitty injury, right? He tore his Achilles, which puts you over a year, basically.
And he was playing so well when he tore it.
He's lights out.
I think
with Russ.
Yeah.
Like Russ makes people better.
Yeah. But I think like the double tight end is going to be so good in the red zone. Like if they can figure out their connections again and have 2 tight ends like that, woo! I'm excited.
They're so good in the red zone.
Yeah.
They're so good because of Russell Wilson, right?
Like Metcalf. His throw to Metcalf, perfect. No DB or no cornerback in the league is going to fucking stop that catch.
And that is a ridiculously easy catch. Did you see how easy it was for him?
So easy.
It's like his hand. Remember when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And you had that, it was a black plastic circle that you put on your hand and had a strap on the back and had Velcro on the front.
Of course. The tennis
and you threw tennis balls at each other. That's what it looks like when DK Metcalf catches the ball.
The ball like disappears in his gloves.
It just hits his glove and it's just stuck there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's his like hands are so big. And
but it was
that's
just
what that one looked like.
It was just a simple post route.
Easy.
Unguardable.
For him, 100%. Man, they're so fun to watch.
Oh my God. And Lockett and Metcalf. With Russell Wilson, the extra time he's getting and letting these guys actually develop like plays downfield. Man, I really, really like this offense.
We know the offense is good though. So let's
defense time.
Share a little bit of light on the defense and how I don't know if I want to say surprised, but excited about how good the D line was. And we know, everyone that's a Seahawks fan knows that the weak spot in our team right now is corners.
Yeah.
And the corners don't have to do shit.
Nothing.
If the D line gets to the quarterback every play. Rasheem Green was lights out.
Yes.
I'm so pumped to see that kid play again.
4 tackles, 1 sack.
Dude, he was involved all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Benson.
Mayoa, he's a young guy too, right?
But he's one of those guys that the Seahawks found and have been developing. And I think this year he's going to have a breakout year. I'm calling it right here.
It's funny because on the depth chart, LJ Collier was starting.
Yeah.
And then like 2 hours before the game, they announced him as not playing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what happened to him or if he was injured or what happened, but Like the day before he was on the depth chart as starting.
Mm-hmm. Casey LJ is also a pick by the Seahawks. He was drafted by them.
But if Rasheem Green is that good and LJ Collier is now the backup,
yeah,
I like it. I like this D line.
I also noticed that last year the Seahawks played a lot of 4-3, so they had 4 defensive, and now they're doing a 3-4. So they're playing 4 linebackers, which is great because I think that's their strength right now, right?
What's the big guy in the middle?
Big guy in the middle.
On the Moan or Monet?
Monet.
Is it Moan or Monet?
No idea.
Because the commentators were calling him Monet, and I was like, I don't think that guy's
French.
He doesn't look French to me.
Oh, oui.
But that guy, whatever his name is, Moni, Monet, Moan. Big dude in the middle. I like, honestly, you think they're better at 3-4?
I just think
I think they're better at 4-3.
But they have so many good linebackers, man.
They don't.
No?
They have 3.
Oh.
They have Wagner, they have Brooks, and they have Barton.
I guess so, eh?
Right? And then
D ends is what
they picked up a lot of D linemen.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So they have, let's see their depth chart, because on the outside,
Rasheem Green,
LJ Collier, Dunlap,
Woods and Ford.
Those guys are on the inside.
Inside, yeah.
Woods,
inside those
Ford,
guys.
and Moni. Whatever his name is.
Brian.
We got to decide right now what his name is going to be for the rest of the season.
I think it's Monet.
You think it's French?
I think he's a fancy dude.
Fuck.
His first name is Brian.
Je m'appelle Monet.
Brian.
All right, fuck. Let's do it. Monet. We'll take it. Brian Monet, Woods, and what was the other guy?
Puna?
And Robinson. Alton Robinson. He's an outside guy. We got a lot of guys on the front line. A lot of
guys, eh? Yeah.
Dude, I think that's why they were very effective this week, is because they got a lot of guys and they moved guys in and out a lot. Usually DNs are in there playing 60 snaps a game and they're just fucking exhausted. But if you got 4 guys that are good DNs, they play half the time, they're lights out, man. They're fresh. Man, I'm pumped.
No, the D looked good. It was exciting. A lot of good things.
We still need 2 corners. So if anyone out there has a corner that they're willing to trade to the Seahawks for little, we're interested, because Trey Flowers is not good yet. We discovered that again this week.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Pete Carroll loves this guy. He's not good at football, Carl.
We've talked about him so many times, especially last year too.
He's just not good yet.
Big mistakes.
He's a liability. He can't cover people. He made a few good tackles, which, okay, let's make some tackles. You should be a strong safety then. But he cannot cover people.
Fuck I think our defensive line really helped.
And
DJ
DJ
Reed
Reed is tiny. Do you notice that? How small he is?
He's
got to be like 5'9", $160. What?
Let's see what he actually is.
Dude, he's small.
He's actually 3 feet tall. No, you're right. He's 5'9".
Yes, thank you. He's so small.
Wow.
Where is he? Reed. He had to have a tackle. He's got to be on this list. DJ Reed.
DJ Reed.
5'9". He's not 193 pounds. There's no chance. No chance.
Way.
Man, they're just so young at corner, hey?
Yeah.
Trey Flowers is what? 25?
An infant.
DJ Reed's 24.
I think cornerbacks, man.
Could you imagine if Sidney Jones comes in and he's just an absolute stud?
That would be wonderful.
He's just a Richard Sherman.
What are they saying about him right now?
I know what I'm saying about him.
You like him?
I'm saying I hope he's fucking good.
He's also another young guy. Okay.
He was with the Jags for 3 years, but he's
25.
Was he their best corner?
Fuck out of the Jags.
Did he even dress this week?
I don't think so.
I didn't see him in the game.
No, I didn't see him at all.
Peter. Let's get Sidney Jones out there because our corners fucking suck, man. We need some help.
Mm-hmm.
You know what doesn't need help is our D line, which is fucking awesome because last year, that's all we talked about is any quarterback looks like a superstar against us because they have 19 seconds to throw the ball.
I actually felt bad for Carson Wentz a couple times, man. He was by himself.
But how good did it feel as a Seahawks fan that had to deal with last year and every quarterback in the league picking us apart? Didn't matter who it was. Then getting the response from this year. I don't know who the guy was. Kenny, whatever his name was, that was commentating the game. Kenny something. But they were all over the Seahawks D-line. Man, Carson Wentz is just under pressure here every time he drops back. Love that. Absolutely love it. Hope that lasts the whole season.
It makes fun. It makes watching defense fun, right?
So much more fun.
Before it was always a liability. You're like, oh shit, here we go again.
The ball's in the air. Oh God, I hope.
Oh man. But now you get pumped, you get amped, man. It's good. It's fun. Hopefully that keeps going.
Rashad Penny.
He got injured, eh?
Man, that guy is a cardboard box.
Yeah. What? Do you know what happened in the game? I didn't even really see.
I don't know.
He like 2 touches.
He was only out there for I was going to say, he only touched the ball a few times.
And he's not playing for week 2 already.
He's on the IR. Isn't that like long term?
Yeah. Injury reserve. Otherwise, he'd be questionable. So what happens there?
Penny had 2 touches for 8 yards.
Are we going to see Alex Collins?
I hope so. I like that guy Collins wasn't even on the squad this week.
No.
What?
Preseason monster, but
I like Collins a lot. Yeah, I mean, I would assume Collins is the second guy next week.
Yep. Yeah. Over Homer.
He takes Penny's spot.
Yeah.
DJ Dallas is their kick returner.
Yes.
So, and he's like a fun young guy to watch. I don't know if he's going to be a great running back because he's too small. How big is he? He's 5'10", 214. That's actually bigger than I thought. I thought he was going to be smaller. But Collins had a great preseason. And he was fun. He was good last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I see him...
Do you think he has a chance to take the number 2 spot permanently?
You know what I fucking love?
What?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because Rashad Penny is just proving year in, year out.
You can't count on him.
That he is fragile.
Yeah.
And you know what I was going to say? You know what I love? Carson had 91 yards on 16 carries. That is fucking productive. That's efficient as fuck, right?
That's good.
He didn't touch the ball a lot, almost had 100 yards.
Yeah, wow.
The offense was efficient as shit. Really efficient.
For the little bit of amount of time they had the ball,
totally.
They made it work.
I don't know if I have much else.
No, I think we've covered everything.
These are literally my notes. Ramsey is very good at football. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has no interest in being in Green Bay. We talked about that. My next point, you're going to laugh at this. It's funny because so every week that I watch the NFL and the Seahawks football games, I just have a note in my phone and I just write down notes as I think of them or as things pop into my head. So this is another note. Penny out IR. It's funny because people liked Goff and that guy is a tragic QB. He's not good. Nope. Stafford is way better, but still middle of the road guy. Can Stafford win? And then I wrote down the stat. Stafford's record in Detroit against teams that have a winning record was 6-64.
That is horrible. Why? I don't understand. And people take him off this team and think he's going to be like a Division 1 quarterback, like a Tier 1 quarterback. Why? He's never really proved anything.
He was kind of fun to watch when he had Megatron with him.
Yeah, just because Megatron was a freak.
Because you just throw the ball as high as you can. It's like DK, same
50-50 ball.
Or like Lockett, right? Like that first touchdown to Lockett was hilariously good for Lockett, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Russell Wilson does a really good job of understanding the humans that are around him and just putting the ball in a position where they're the only one that can make a play.
Yeah.
And that first touchdown was a prime example where it was like 3rd and, I don't know, whatever it was, 3rd and 6, something like that. And he was under extreme pressure and he just threw the ball the opposite of where Lockett's route was going. Lockett was running like a deep post to the left side of the end zone and he threw it to the middle right of the end zone and Lockett just made a ridiculous adjustment and made a catch.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to watch athletes that are so good at what they're doing make those types of plays.
Oh my God.
It's so crazy.
I hope
it's so fun. Like people that don't really maybe know football that well would watch that and be like, oh, they scored a touchdown.
I know. Yeah.
Whereas like for me, I'm watching it and being like, that was a ridiculous athletic move by Russell Wilson to get the football off and to throw it in a position that his guy could make a play.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lockett makes a ridiculous adjustment and it's 7 points instead of a punt.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
The morale and what it does too. Man, Lockett is very, very impressive at tracking the ball.
And
adjustments, like so good.
We're talking about, he does not get the credit that he deserves, I think. And we watch him all the time. So we see every week. Every week he has good weeks, man. He had 4 receptions for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 1,000 yards last year. How many touchdowns did he have last year? I don't know.
6 million.
Not that many.
He's good, man.
Maybe 15 touchdowns, something like that.
Something like that.
14 or 15. He's really good. And I think he is in like literally the premier system for him because he has DK.
Yes.
Beside him.
Yeah.
And other teams are like, holy shit, we've never seen a kid that looks like this. We should probably guard him with 2 guys.
Yeah.
And Lockett's like, sure. Yeah. I'll take them.
Which is exactly what we saw this week. To me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And then he has Russell Wilson, who is one of the all-time greats at throwing deep passes. All time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Lockett is a short, fast guy that is specialized in running deep patterns.
Yeah.
He's in a perfect system, man. He's like I don't watch Tyreek Hill a lot.
Yeah.
But is he like is he the same as Tyreek Hill?
Very, very similar. You just
short guy.
So scary.
So fast.
In the open field, it's so scary.
And great hands. Like he can he'll catch the ball when it's thrown to him.
And he'll adjust on him like to play. Yeah. They're both very, very similar. But dude, he's so fast. Like when he undressed that guy, dude, his head went one way, the hips went the other, and the guy almost fell.
The corner post?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
He had him no chance.
And Russ underthrew him by 5 yards.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I hope to see more of that.
It's so fun. Okay, so I have one other point to make. The Colts passed the ball 38 times this week. You know what I'm going to say?
No.
Colts passed the ball 38 times this week. Jamal Adams was targeted 0 times.
Really?
That's the effect that a guy like that has on a team and on a game plan.
Wow.
We talked about, is he worth $18 million a year? And my comment last week was, I think he's underpaid. He is such a team guy.
Yeah.
He by far has the most energy on the team. And that is up against Pete Carroll, who's like 77.
Oh man, good for him, yeah.
And is jumping up and down every single goddamn play of the football game. He's up against Russell Wilson, who, dude, man, my eyes get watery when I'm watching this on TV on Sundays. When Russell Wilson throws a touchdown pass, he's fucking clapping and fist pumping himself every fucking time. And it is unbelievable. Like, it's so cool to watch how excited and passionate these dudes are about fucking winning football games. And it makes me a bigger fan.
That's what I hear. I hear that like Russ is just one of the most positive guys. And I hear that the new offensive coordinator is very similar. He's very positive, very cheer. And I hear that him and Wilson get along very well.
Lockett said that in an interview I watched today. They asked him about Mark Waldron, and he said, I know a lot about football, and that guy teaches me something every day.
Yeah.
And literally, these were his two comments. He said that, and then he's like, and he's the most positive person on our football team.
It's fucking great, man.
Dude, it's so...
When your best offensive players love your offensive coordinator, like...
Versus last year when everyone was fucking butting heads.
Yeah.
100%. And Jamal Adams is that on the defense, man.
Yeah.
It seems like, as a fan watching, like Adams is so raw.
He's having so much fun, eh?
So it's cool when that personality matches up with the best kid on the team, right?
Yes.
Like that kid is so athletic. He's involved in every fucking tackle, whether it's a run play or a pass play.
Yes.
He's right there. And he's your best friend at the same time.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I think guys like Trey Flowers and DJ Reed will be better because Jamal Adams is on their team.
You know, you have like a guy of that caliber kind of backing you up and he has your back, right?
100%.
I agree. I mean, yeah, I think
that's a cool stat, right?
He's underpaid, man. He's underpaid.
That's
a fucking fantastic stat. They track everything. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But like you said, he's so similar to Jalen Ramsey, right? They're just on every play. And like the quarterback, they plan the game for these guys to avoid running plays to their side.
If you had the option of Jalen Ramsey or Jamal Adams, who would you pick? And let me preface it with this, because this is the way my head works.
Yeah.
Is a corner is a very specified position. It's like a receiver.
Yeah, it is.
You're only good when the ball comes your direction. Versus a Jamal Adams is a game changer because you can run so many different options on your defense around a guy that is a strong safety.
Mm-hmm.
You can blitz. You can have him like covering the running backs out of the backfield. You can have him dropping back and covering receivers.
Yeah.
There's so many different options versus a corner. A corner usually is just covering the best receiver on the team.
It's one-on-one, right?
Right?
Yeah.
And when you're the Seahawks and you have two A1 receivers, you double team Metcalf or you put your best corner on Metcalf and Lockett has 2 touchdowns and 150 yards, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vice versa. Same thing.
Whereas a guy like Jamal Adams is putting pressure on the quarterback, right? Helping everybody.
And you have no fucking idea what he's doing every play.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas Jalen Ramsey is a great cover guy.
Yeah.
No matter who is up against him, the best receiver of all time, he's going to make plays. It is what it is. He's so athletic and he was fun to watch last night. I was watching him because I knew when he was up for sale, I say for sale, but like when he was picking a new team basically 2 years ago, the Seahawks talked to him, I think. And I think the Seahawks were in discussion as like a top 3 team that he would go to.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to the Rams and I was like, I think we missed something there. Because he seemed like a Richard Sherman.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like outspoken, athletic.
Cocky, can back it up.
But very good.
Yes. Yeah.
And I watched him last night pretty closely. And he's a stud.
He's a real deal,
he's
man.
A stud. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. But if you get
position,
him,
versus a strong safety position, which I think just has more impact on a game, I like Jamal Adams, man.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what happened 2 years ago was Ramsey didn't work out for the Seahawks. We didn't get him. He went to LA. And then they went after him, Adams.
So we would only have one or the other, right? We never have both.
It seemed like it because they both get paid a lot of money because they're very good. So can you have both on your team with Bobby Wagner, who also makes like 15 million, whatever a year?
Fuck.
So if you have those 3 guys,
it's like 55 million right there, right?
Exactly.
50 million, yeah.
I don't think teams can afford that. So it's 2 of the 3.
You just
Bobby
lose
Wagner,
so much,
I love.
Yeah.
He's been one of the top 3 linebackers in the league for a decade.
He had the most tackles last game.
Dude, he's had 9 years in a row with 100+ tackles.
You always talk about like no one talking enough about Russell Wilson. What about Bobby Wagner? No one talks about him ever.
It's a funny position, man. It's a funny position that you are relied upon so much for every single play. For a run play, for a pass play, for
you have to do it all.
Rushing the passer, for dropping back in coverage, for literally everything. And outside of the top like 5 or 10 linebackers in the league, no one knows your name. Right?
I know.
So Bobby Wagner's a guy for sure, but like Luke Kuechly is a guy that everyone knows. But there's like a handful of guys in the league that everyone knows their name, and outside of that, zero.
Yeah.
Versus every quarterback in the league,
every wide receiver,
most NFL fans know your name, right?
Yeah, I know.
Derek Carr, who gives a fuck about Derek Carr? He sucks at football for his position comparatively to other guys in the league. But let's say he's the 15th ranked quarterback in the league, 18th ranked quarterback in the league. Everyone still knows his name.
Yeah.
You couldn't name the top 5 linebackers in the league, probably, right?
No, I couldn't. 7,
10, you don't know. But they're so impactful, man. Bobby Wagner, 100%. It's just it's a weird sport. It's a weird sport where the quarterback is by far the premier position in the league, and a good quarterback makes $40 million a year.
Yeah.
The best defensive player in the league, Aaron Donald, makes 20.
I know, right?
Half.
Yeah.
And then your top 3 linebackers in the league probably make between 15 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
So less than half of a premier quarterback. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's just a weird sport. And that's why it's the best.
The best. I agree.
Not even close. You know I love golf. Golf is fucking sweet too. And golf is so cool for so many different reasons. Like, it's individual, and the only way you get paid is if you show up every week.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking weird, right?
It is weird.
Imagine if you showed up to an NBA game and you're LeBron James, and it's like, if you score 20 points this game, you get $1 million.
Yeah, yeah.
If you score 30,
I know,
you get 1.8. If you score 40, you get 2.6. So there's a lot of
sports, the single individual sport, like tennis is the same thing too,
totally.
Right? You have no one to fall back on, no one to count on.
Totally.
If you can't ask for a sub, man, like what the fuck? It's all on you. Yeah.
If you're not feeling like, every basketball player has off games.
Yeah.
And in golf, it's just like you miss the cut and you make literally zero.
In basketball, you can just go to your second player, third player, rely on, right? Whatever, make it work, figure it out. But
you can take a break for 5 minutes. You can get subbed off. You can just go onto the sideline and contemplate life in your head. In golf, it's like, you got to make this 8-footer for par, bro. Figure it out.
Man,
it's different.
I kind of regret never playing a sport like that at a high level, like by yourself. Like fighting is the same thing too. Mm-hmm. I feel like you learn so many things about yourself that way, right? Like, what were you going to say?
It is cool. I still think football is better.
Yeah.
The reason I like football so much is because it's like you said it last week, is it's so complex.
Yeah. Deep.
There's dozens of moving parts on every single play, and it's so crazy. And it's so cool. Like, you have one weak link and other teams just expose it.
Oh, right? Touchdown. Wide open touchdown. Yeah.
Like, we comment every week that our corners are the weakest part of our team. And against let's say, subpar offense last week, they get exposed on plays.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Right? Like, plays that shouldn't be 25-yard gains just happen. And it's, as an athlete, would you prefer, and I know your background is the same as mine, like playing team sports and you're relying on other people, and yes, you can kind of take the game over when you're feeling it, and towards the end of the game, you can take the shot or whatever. But in football, when you're if you're on the defense and you're a strong safety or you're a linebacker and the quarterback is a 3-step drop and throws it to the outside, you have no impact on that play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zero. Mm. Same as basketball. Like,
they swing it to the other side.
Yeah. If you're help defense, someone shoots a 3, whether it goes in or not,
you're just rebounding.
Very little for you, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. But that also makes it so good. And it's so fun. And I know you're obsessed with fantasy.
Yeah. Fantasy football is a lot of fun, man.
How long have you been into that? Seems like pretty recent.
I think this is my 5th year in the league.
5th?
Yeah.
Does it, for me, since we've been doing this podcast, like I've been a Seahawks fan since grade 10, which was 2005, 16 years. And it seems like every year I love the humans on the team more and more every single year.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's so good. Is it the same for you?
So you like the humans on the team?
I like the guys so much.
You
I
learn
like
more about them.
I pay attention more. I've never paid attention in off season like I have this year.
Yeah.
Every trade, every like injury report, every pickup and drop. Like I know the guys that aren't even on the team that got picked up for the practice squad and like we're on the just because I'm paying attention.
Like, and fantasy kind of forces you to pay attention too, right? I have like a random Denver wide receiver and now I'm watching the game. Don't know anything about Denver, don't know anything, but then you start picking things up. You got a whatever running back on this team and because it's so random and you just start learning about the entire league.
Totally. And then you see a guy that you never heard of before. It's like, oh, that guy just had 4 tackles in a row. Seems like pretty good at linebacker. Totally. It's so cool. It's such a crazy sport.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's so crazy. It's so cool that like 70,000 people go there and just yell their faces off.
And just have fun and just, nothing.
European soccer is kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very similar.
Like 100,000 people show up and they're just shit-faced and they're just yelling.
And like your entire day and like, I'd say life revolves around the team, right? You're just so involved, so committed.
You're 100%.
Yeah.
Your week, your mood for the week is based on whether or not your team won on Sunday.
How is your Monday going to be? Yeah. You know, this guy's going to be fucking pissed off after his Cowboys lost or whatever. Yeah.
I love it though. I love that. I love that it has that impact on people. I love that the Green Bay fans are going to be fucking pissed off this year.
Poor Thierman.
He knows. He doesn't like Rodgers anyway. Okay, let's make predictions for next week.
All right.
You got to go first because you were so right this week.
I know, right? So we've got the Titans.
The Tennessee Titans, who underperformed week 1. I'm assuming are going to have a better game this week because they're going to be 0-2.
I'm so impressed with Seattle's offense that I think they're just going to make Tennessee play from behind.
Do you think they're better than last year?
Yeah, I do. Shoddy was a piece of shit. I think just the calling and everything is...
The entire game, this is a cool thing that honestly, correct me or share your thoughts too, but like last year, there was rarely a point in the entire season where I thought this is an easy win.
Yeah.
And most of the game this year, most of the game this past week, I did not think there was even a remote chance that we were going to lose that game.
No chance, right? No chance.
It just seemed like they were so in control from the entire start. Even in the third quarter, I think there was 4 possessions in a row where they punted, and it didn't seem like the game was close.
Right. No. The thing too in the third quarter is like Seattle loves to drop back their defense. Like they play it so safe. So you kind of give up like the first downs ever, like the running, the short gains and all that. That's why the game takes forever.
Did you notice that in the first half? I'm going to make this number up, but let's say Jamal Adams blitzed 6 times in the first half.
Yeah.
And in the third quarter, 0.
It's like a switch is flipped. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that. They just go into this fucking mindset like the game's over at halftime and they're just going to play it safe. And then you get a 10-minute possession for the Colts.
Yeah. I guess as a D coordinator, like you're up whatever it was at halftime. What was it? 21-10?
Yeah, 21-10 sounds right.
Like that. So you're up 10 or 11 points at halftime. You're assuming the other team is going to come out throwing the ball quite often.
Mm-hmm.
So you're game planning to fight against the pass. So if your best player on your defense is your strong safety, are you going to be blitzing him every third play?
Right.
Maybe just putting him in coverage and letting him do his thing.
Yeah. You're going to give up the easy gains.
Worst case scenario, someone gets a 7-yard catch and Jamal Adams is pounding them in the face. Yeah.
You just let the game run out that way.
Totally.
All right. Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go, honestly, if this was week 1, I would have said the Seahawks lose to the Titans. But I think after watching week 1, I think Seahawks win 28-21. I think it's going to be a close game.
28-21? Man, that is an interesting comment. If this was week 1, you think they lose to the Titans?
Dude, the Titans I thought would be fucking good.
I think the Seahawks D is better than people think. And the O has proven that they score points whenever they want.
Correct. Yeah.
So I think the Seahawks win 31-20.
So once again, not a very close game. The Seahawks are in control the whole time.
It seems like from game 1, let's keep in mind that the Colts are a playoff team. Who's their quarterback last year?
Not Andrew Luck because he was bounced. Who was it? It was Rivers.
Chargers guy. Rivers. Yeah. So
did Rivers retire?
Yeah, I think so.
He's coaching high school football.
Is Wentz an improvement? Or
I think he's one of those side grades, he's one of those interchangeable white quarterbacks. So
let's say they have not progressed and they haven't gotten any worse. We beat a playoff team extremely handily, and to me, it wasn't a close game.
No, it was not.
Like, they won by 10.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? No, 28-16. They won by 12, and to me, it wasn't close. I think they do the exact same thing next week, and they win comfortably, but the score reflects a closer game than it actually was.
Okay.
What I would love to see from the defense is a turnover next week. 0 turnovers.
Yeah.
So they played really good. They held, let's say, a decent offense to 16 points with 0 turnovers. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, it is rare.
Even if you play against a shitty team and you don't have any turnovers, they're going to score points. They're going to score 16 points. So I like that a lot about the defense. The pass rush, to me, was the biggest surprise.
Mm-hmm.
That literally is probably the thing we need most.
Yeah, for sure. It helps everyone on the defense.
So if that is like a foreshadowing of what the season is going to look like, and the pass rush is going to be strong, I think this is going to be a fun season.
Good. I agree with you.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.